So the Las Vegas Raiders have finally given recognition to the Raider D podcast here as the best and most important podcast representing the Raiders in the entire world.
They're gonna be sorry they were ever born.
Who?
All of them.
And then I woke up and it was just a dream. But all jokes aside, the Raiders did finally get some good news, and that is that we got to see Geno Smith in front of a microphone, flanked by John Spytek and Coach Pete Carroll, and finally get to see this guy talk about being a Raider. So we're going to break that down. Plus, we're going to be talking about a player who just got cut from the team and some dirt that has come out about it. You want to stay tuned for that. But I do just want to say thank you to today's sponsor of the video, and that is Vtoman Solar, but more about them in a minute. So let's talk about Geno Smith, Nation. Here's the deal. He's our quarterback for the next 2 to 3 years. Now, we can get out of his contract in a couple of years. That is true. You could even just cut him next year and take a big salary cap hit and all that type of stuff. However, I don't believe that that's going to be the case. I think Geno Smith is going to be the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders for the next 3 years, and possibly if he does really well and we're making playoff runs, he could even stay the Raiders quarterback for a good 4 to 5, maybe even 6 years, finishing out his career as a Raider. And here's why. Geno Smith is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the NFL. We all know that. He throws over 70% completion rating season after season. He was the comeback player of the year just a couple of years ago for good reason. And Pete Carroll even mentioned that in today's presser. But one of the good things about Geno Smith, number one, is character. He's a high character dude. He's a natural leader. He's going to bring stability to the quarterback room that Gardner Minshew was unable to do. And Aiden O'Connell is still just too young and only coming off of a rookie year. He simply was in no position to do that. And so Geno Smith gives us instant credibility at the quarterback position. Now defenses will have to account for him. They won't just be able to stack the box and just expect us to run the ball. They're going to have to, respect Geno Smith and his ability to throw the ball deep, middle, and short. And so those are all good things. You combine that with his leadership, and Geno Smith has solved the quarterback issue for at least now. And what does that mean for the Las Vegas Raiders moving forward? Will the Las Vegas Raiders go out and draft a quarterback this year? Well, I talked about it with my boy, the GOAT from the big Instagram star over there for the Raiders, and now he's doing YouTube, so you guys should go check him out. Big thanks to him for coming on the channel last night. If you didn't see the live stream, go and check it out. It is in the profile. But listen, we talked about how Geno Smith is a good quarterback, but he's not a great quarterback. Can he get us over the hump by himself? And my response to that was, I don't think you need Geno Smith to be an elite quarterback. I think you need Geno Smith to do what Geno Smith does, and that's not lose you games. He himself is not going to cost you a game. He's going to play great football, but it's not going to be amazing. It's not going to be wowing. It's going to be safe. It's going to be comfortable. And all we need to win is 2 elite running backs. And we have that in Mostert. When he is on, he is on. And if you were to draft a guy like Ashton Genty, if you were to draft a guy like Judkins or Henderson, or maybe even Amari and Hampton, you're going to have a couple of elite running backs that can really help take off all of the pressure from Geno Smith and this wide receiver core. You combine that with a Brock Bowers, who Geno Smith said he is very excited to play with. He is very excited to help him take that next leap. He's already calling Brock Bowers an all-pro. And so this is showing that he already has huge confidence in his number one target, which is going to be Brock Bowers. And he even said that Brock Bowers can help me as well as a quarterback. And so I think the symbiotic relationship that is going to gel between these two guys is going to be fantastic. And that's going to open up the run game. And so I loved everything that I seen from Geno Smith's press conference. Again, it's a press conference. At the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. We were all wowed by Antonio Pierce's first press conference. And look how that turned out. It didn't mean anything. However, when you take the pedigree of this quarterback with this head coach and you align him up with a couple of really good running backs and an all-pro tight end, I think we're going to score some points. I think we're going to win a bunch of games. I think we could squeak into the wild card position of the playoffs this year. I think we could actually do that. Now, we might miss it. We might be 1 or 2 games short because, like Josh said last night on the podcast, sometimes it takes 2 years for you to really see that next step and that growth in your team under a new regime. Sometimes it happens right away. It did happen for Houston under a new regime. It did happen for Washington last year under a new regime and a new quarterback. Things in the NFL can change rapidly, and the Raiders could be a perfect example of that. But in order for Geno Smith to be successful, he is going to have some bright spots on that offensive line. Speaking of bright spots, I want to tell you a little bit about Vtoman. Vtoman has been a sponsor of the channel now for a while. They believe in the channel, and in all honesty, we simply could not produce the content that we are producing out here in the Raider Ranch, which is completely off-grid without Vtoman's support. So big shout to Vtoman for being such a big supporter of the channel. They got everything from car chargers to air compressors, power washers, inverter, battery, all-in-one solar systems, portable solar panels, you name it, they got it, and their prices simply can't be beat. So I'm going to drop a link down below. Guys, go show them some love. Go check them out and see what they have to offer. So thank you to Vtoman for being a big sponsor of the Raider D podcast. Now, to wrap this up, I do just want to say a couple of things, and that is that I'm impressed with Geno Smith. I think he is an upgrade at the quarterback position. I believe that the Raiders can win at least 10 games this year. However, we also have a complete dismantling of the secondary in the defense, and that could spell disaster. Jack Jones just got cut yesterday. There were some attitude issues and some off-the-field issues that Pete Carroll simply did not want to deal with. Not to mention the fact that while he does get interceptions as a ball hawk, he gives up way too many touchdowns and yards against him. And so I think it was a good move to go ahead and cut him. Let's see what DeCamarion Richardson can do this year. Let's see what the rest of our young secondary can do this year. Am so excited to see a lot of these guys get that playing time, especially one of my favorites who really hasn't gotten a chance just yet, but I'm hoping he will, and that is Trey Taylor. Trey Taylor is going to be such a great safety in the NFL. I think that he is so good that he could even possibly slide into that nickel corner position, and I think it would be really wise of him to really push for that. Guys, let me know how you guys feel about Geno Smith, about the press conference, if you've seen it today. If not, go and check it out, and let me know down in the comments. Until then, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next Raiders video.